Welcome to another PA Matches After Action Report. I played a nice match with a Donut and figured it was worth reviewing. I start off fairly standard build, kind of my normal build order. 5 fabrication bots, 5 doxes, then infinite fabrication bots. I always start out with queuing up my commander for a bunch of energy. My first fabrication bot assists my commander with energy, and the next 3 work on metal, and the 5th one works on pumping out factories. Still needs refinement, but it works out alright. Donut starts off very nicely with some very solid expansion. I don't expand quite as quickly. Something I struggle with and something I'm working on. I send in some fabrication bots to work on my forward vehicle factories. Unfortunately, these doxes get sent in and intercept me. He's already kicking it up to advanced at 9 minutes in. Okay, me too. We're on 4 times speed, so it's kind of difficult for me to keep track of time. So I'm working on pumping out bots. Realize I lost my vehicle factories, so I send in these doxes to support and start putting up some defensive lines. Still working on expanding, albeit slower than I would prefer, slower than I should. I'm working on advanced vehicle factories, and then I get these group of doxes to move around behind for some flanking maneuvers. Donut puts up lots of missile defense towers everywhere. Not a bad move. I micromanage in this combat right here, and I keep my bots moving. He does not. Works out well for me. Donut's got a nice proxy base going up over here. I don't notice it until later. I'm not sure how late. And this was a huge mistake on my part. I've got several... You know what? Let's slow this down. Let's just go back to 2 times speed. This was way too fast. Okay, so then I've got these advanced fabrication bots sitting here idle for way too long. So at some point in here, I believe I've scouted this, and I've got some of these bots moving in to intercept, working on pumping out some factories. And over here, I suddenly found that I was right up next to his base, and I frantically put up a fairly hard defensive line. I was turned around and thought this was his main base, so I decided to pelter creep. Since I didn't have much of anything else over there. At least I'd be able to take out some of those turrets. Idle commander. Darn it, he sat idle there for a while. That's not good. Oh, I totally missed this. I knew I sent in some bots and I knew they got destroyed, but I missed how they got destroyed. I assumed he had hardened defensive lines, but in fact he just had a bunch of bots. If I had known that, I would have pushed this area a lot sooner. So, pumping out lots of units over here and over here. I get several nice death balls up and push in with them. Interestingly, Donut doesn't kick it up. He doesn't go orbital or nuclear. He just relies mostly on T1 bot spam. T1 bots are great for raiding, but not the best for direct confrontation and overwhelming a base. I noticed that these were coming in, so I rerouted units. Here we go. I got my advanced economy going up. Pumping out levelers, working on trying to get a big death ball up. My advanced bots save the day here, and I prepare another death ball. Donut really needed to expand more. He expanded very quickly at first, but then stopped. There were just lots of metal right in here that he should have grabbed. It kept his factory count low and allowed me to outproduce him. So This group of bots came in, did a very nice raid up the backside. There were several points where I kept on hearing beeps, but wasn't sure what was going on, and the chronocam was too buggy for me to rely on. Successful pelter creep, kind of, took out some stuff, not much. So these bots come in and destroy some of this in here. Not a very good run. If he had scouted or hadn't have charged up against my laser defense towers, he could have swung back here and destroyed a bunch of metal and a bunch of energy, which would have really crippled me. So I got another push forward. I'm getting some radar up, trying to creep forward to see what he's got, getting ready for an attack over here, and getting ready for another attack. I like to say this a lot because it's good. Attacking from multiple fronts is the way to go. Here we go. I try and do a pelter creep to punch through his defenses and then follow up with these units. However, he gets some catapults up to counter, and my pelter creep gets stopped short. However, they did help out, and they destroyed several defensive turrets, which I'm able to then follow up with my bots and cause a serious chunk of damage. I got a very long build queue up with these guys out back, and got some bots sitting idle over here in case he tries to expand that way, and working on amassing a large force of units. Get in a fairly nice raid right in here, destroy one of his advanced bot factories and some metal extractors, and I believe I end up getting some of his advanced energy. However, I know he's got those catapults in there, so I know for my next attack I've got to have a lot of bots, particularly advanced bots, and I got to push straight for them. If we look at my economy, I've got a very positive economy. That's not good. I ran into this several times where I had several hundred positive metal and I wasn't using it. Right about here, I realized he hasn't attacked me much. He hasn't gone orbital, so I'm suddenly afraid of nukes. So I spam up several anti-nukes around some of my more critical areas and areas that he's more likely to nuke. And then I start pumping out more energy, and soon I kick it up to orbital. Here we go, got an attack pushing in. Here we go. And this causes a lot of damage. I destroy a lot of stuff, catapults and factories and laser defense towers, stuff that he's invested a lot of metal into, which really hurts him. When you invest metal into defensive turrets and catapults and things of that like, you don't have much offensive power, which really sets you back. Got a big push coming in over here. On my radar, I got, at this point I have a basic radar satellite up in the air. And I see he's got these circling. No, I don't. That's later. So, on all fronts, I'm trying to expand, albeit I should have been expanding more. Still lots of unclaimed metal from both of us. Particularly Donut, man, he really needed to expand. Okay, we got another big push coming in here. This one really hurt him. I destroyed a bunch of his economy, really setting him back. And at this point I see large groups of units getting destroyed, so I figure out that he's got Hulkins, or robbers as they used to be called. So for my next big push, I gather up bombers and advanced bots. Advanced bots are faster, less likely to get hit, and bombers are able to, well, fly over everything and not get shot by those things. All around successful attack, destroyed lots of economy, lots of energy. Worked out very well for me. Right about now, I'm getting up some orbital stuff. Yep, I go with an Avenger first, just in case he went orbital, and then I go for a basic radar satellite, then advanced radar satellite, then energy solar array. We're preparing for another attack over here. I see this attack coming in on my radar, so I pull these units back to this defensive line so I can use the superior range and damage of these laser defense towers to their full effect and minimize my losses. And then as soon as these units are destroyed, I do a counter push. And over here, I got another big push coming, preparing. And all around, I'm feeling pretty good at this point. I know I am outproducing him, and there goes the advanced radar satellite. So now I got near full coverage, and then I figure out what he's got. I realize he doesn't have nukes, and at this point I know I pretty much have the game. Donut gets in several good raids that has me scramble, but ultimately I'm fairly secure. I'm pretty spread out, got lots of proxy bases, and a very strong economy. Let's see, he should be coming in with an attack at some point soon. Well, here we go. Here's my attack. Destroy that little small proxy base that he's got, and then I push in from the side. I see this group of units coming in, so again I gather up so I can defend against my laser defensive turrets. However, he smartly bypasses them. There's no point in having laser defense towers if your opponent just goes around them, so then I scramble back, and at some point I pull in a bunch of these fabricators to put up laser defense towers, and at the same time that he's attacking over there, I realize that he's preoccupied and has lots of forces elsewhere, so I decide to push in. Unfortunately, this attack kind of flops because I forget about it and he gets picked apart hard by these Vulcans. So that was a bad move. I needed to queue up the greater move queue. So he's pushing in and gets in several kills. Here we go. I'm scrambling to get some laser defense towers up. Ultimately, not successful. So then I'm scrambling bots and scrambling units, and I pull my commander back because if those bots were able to get right at me, that would have been GG right there. Okay, so see, this is what I'm talking about. This large blob of units that would have destroyed most of his base got picked apart hard by these Vulcans. However, I still notice them in time, get to push in and cause some damage. Donut's getting a nice attack blob coming in, and I see it coming, so I'm frantically trying to get my vehicles ready to defend. However, bots are much faster than vehicles, so I know these aren't going to be able to get there in time, so I'm just scrambling units and scrambling to put up defensive towers at some point. Up in here, no, not this time. Yeah. Earlier, he had sent up over a bunch of fighters scouting me out, and I just knew he was about to nuke me, so that was when I frantically put up anti-nukes. But I realized that he's just looking for defense. He's just looking for a hole in my defenses, and where my commander is. Very nicely done on his part. He bypasses this blob of units that would chew him apart. So I'm frantically trying to get units in position to defend, getting a catapult, laser defense towers, whatever I can get up. And he's able to come in and do a decent chunk of damage. He nicely moves in and destroys all of those fabricators, and then stops the push short, and that's about all he does. So I then I've got full intel. These lobbers are a pain, so I'm working on bombers over here and over here. So I want to get rid of these Hulkins. So I get all these advanced bot fabricators over here and spam out a bunch of advanced bot factories and start pumping out slammers. And then I start moving in like units for getting ready to attack and get these ready for another attack to take out the rest of this proxy base. My plan is to attack at least 2 places at once. His base is spread out. I know he hasn't expanded and doesn't really have much. So here we go. I get a nice little build queue up. Got a nice conglomerate of bombers going up. See this attack coming in. Unfortunately for him, though, he moves in on this defensive line and gets picked apart by laser defense towers and pelters. And I guess these units get there in time. So at this point, I realize these vehicles are not going to catch up to those bots, so I immediately do a reverse right in a second and decide to push in with them, as well as with this force. And here we go. Here's my fighters to soak up anti-air fire, and the bombers to take out the Vulcans and laser defense towers. So I then push in with everything all at once, and oh yeah, so this was another attack that could have hurt. I was able to defend. It wasn't very many units, and I was able to get in advanced bots, which were able to shoot through them, as well as laser defense towers that did not get them. Either way, my advanced bots were able to shoot through them. So I got a big push coming in. I've got these bombers that took out the Vulcans, which was a big problem for me. Vulcans have a large area of effect, so they are able to take out large blobs of units very easily. So I got my advanced bot factories churning out slammers. These are able to do a lot of damage. I get up a bunch of catapults. At this point, I'm getting a little tired of the match. We're at 43 minutes, so I'm just kind of resorting to anything that will destroy his defensive line so I can then punch in with units. He's got a decent group of slammers. However, slammers only have a range of 80, and ants have a range of 100, levelers a range of 120, and I chew through them fairly easily. Didn't help that he ran straight at me. He should have sideswiped, strafed. They're able to have a lot less damage that way. I push in, destroy the remainders of this proxy base. My catapults took apart the rest of this base. So this is pretty much all he's got. He's got a group of doxes that are trying to flank around, but it's not many, and I've got lots of units and lots of defenses, and I've got full radar cover, or full field of view, so I see them coming, and I've got plenty of units and defensive structures waiting. So yeah, at this point not much is happening. I've destroyed what remains of his base, and I'm calling in bombers to attempt to try and take out some of these things. But of course bombers don't drop their bombs for some reason. So again, at this point I'm just ready to be done, so I spam out a bunch of catapults with my very large economy. And here in a second, I get my catapults to target the commander and just take him out. I mean, I've got plenty of units. Most any blob of these would take him out, but they're far away. Catapults are faster. And we got his attack coming in, but like I said, I've got plenty of units ready to defend. It's not going to do squat. My commander's way over here. He'd have to fight through all sorts of laser defense towers. At most, he would destroy a chunk of my base, and there he goes, destroyed by the catapults. All around nice match. He should have expanded more. He had some very nice raiding, kept me on my toes. But I had fun. Good game, done it.